Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching the world. This is the Red Horde. I'm going to continue the theme. Had the last episode last week focus on the MK Dons. Actually had some initial interest, and then after the game, everybody stopped watching it. So going to get this one out early. Going to talk about AFC Wimbeldon. Who are you? And more importantly, do we hate you? Let's get into it. This is the Red Horde. All right, AFC Wimbeldon. So you're up on Saturday the 12th. The nicknames for you, the Dons or the Wombles. I'm sorry, the Wombles. Right there, that's a hint. Hint number one, that we don't really hate AFC Wimbeldon. How can you hate a team that calls itself the Wombles? It sounds like an Australian marsupial, or at least a verb for an Australian marsupial. The koala wombled up the tree. It's great. Love it. So that's check mark number one, at least as far as being, we're kind of neutral on you. So location of AFC Wimbeldon, well, you should get it from Wimbledon. London Borough of Merton, it's in London Southwest, population 215,000 and change, 8.9 million in all of London. The stadium, well, the stadium now is called Cherry Road Records Stadium, formerly Plough Lane. We're going to go with that. It's 200 meters east of where the old stadium was. That old stadium now a Safeway, since the team relocated, the former Wimbledon FC relocated to the MK Dons and became Franchise FC. So the current stadium opened in 2020. It has a capacity of 9,215. Average attendance for it last season, 7,604 for the Wombles, the Dons. That put them fifth in League Two. Distance from the racecourse, 204 miles or 328 kilometers, and that's about a 4.5 hour drive. As far as turnover, that being important, because if you have turnover, you have the capacity to end up bringing in players. A surprisingly good 8,061,000 pounds and some change. That's impressive, especially for a trust-owned franchise. The fans have started this one up. And then the kit, you know what? Another reason why we can't really hate on Wimbledon. The kits are glorious, especially that third jersey. I don't know what you call it. Azure, indigo. I'm going to put them up there, but you've got the blue and yellow home jersey. You've got the white away jersey. You've got those sick third jerseys. Long-standing sponsor as far as the front of the kit. So, hey, kudos to Wimbledon for doing it right with the kit. As far as the bookie odds at the start of the season, had the Dons, AFC Wimbeldon, at 14th, so a middle one-third club, expected to be in the mix, but unlikely to end up being in the hunt for promotion. The last match that we had with them, wow, we got to go into the Wayback Machine here. 22 years, 5 months, 21 days ago. That's a total of 8,206 days, if you're curious. And that was a National League competition. It was a 1-0 win away it was the Conference League back then. And AFC, though, advanced through the playoffs that season. And, well, we lost because we know we put 15 years of time in. So that's the history and the story with them. There's other connections with AFC Wimbeldon, most notably Ollie Palmer. He was a 300,000 quid transfer in the January transfer window in 2022. Played 41 games for AFC Wimbeldon, so obviously there's a connection there. So last season's performance, how did they end up doing? 21st place, 2 positions away from relegation, 5 points clear. They had 11 wins, 15 draws, 20 losses. Not the most productive season, but things are expected to be a little bit better this year. Now, in the MK Dons, fortunately, I guess, we covered the story, at least fortunately as far as the history, unfortunately for the people who had to suffer through the toils. Looking at it from the AFC Wimbeldon perspective, AFC Wimbeldon, as soon as the commission that determined that they would permit the franchise relocation from Wimbledon to Milton Keynes, there was an immediate response in creating a Phoenix club. And in fact, they started with that fan lead trust and got the team going in 2002, 2003. And from there, they climbed the ladder in a hurry. 6 promotions. like not consecutively, but over since 2002, 2003, 6 promotions, got them all the way up to League One. They did have a relegation 2 seasons ago that brought them back into League Two where they sit right now, but they went on a record, they put on 78 consecutive league games without a defeat between February 2003 and December 2004. So, but that's still an impressive 78 consecutive league games without a defeat. Like, that's bonkers. So team statistics, lots of overhaul with the team, so it's tough to take anything from what happened last year. It's interesting that they conceded twice as many goals in the second half of the game than in the first half of the game. So for a team like Wrexham, who is a second half performer, and a team like Wimbledon, who at least last year struggled in the second half, you'd think that, well, that's the opportunity for us to make hay, as it were. Last year, they were average in goals scored per match, but they did struggle a little bit keeping the ball out of the net, well, and especially in the second half. Everything other than that was essentially average. I can bring up the stats here, and it's team shots, conversion, fouls, goals scored, wins, draws, just a lot of yellow, which demonstrates middle of the pack. But it appears where the difference was and why they ended up in 21st was that challenge in being competitive in the second half, that increase in conceded goals. So the gaffer, 40-year-old John Jackson, not a lot of data. In 2021, he became a caretaker for League One Charlton Athletic, but he was ultimately dismissed after that short stint. Charlton finished 13th, so maybe a little bit odd there because you think he must have done an adequate job. They didn't fall off the map. But this is his second season now with the club. He was hired after the club was relegated 2 seasons ago, and that's where he's at. So as far as key players, well, here we get into it. 4 of the 11 starters that they had in their first game were with the club last year. Davison, Pierce, Ogundere, and Little, well, at least for a bit. So they've brought in a lot of players. Alex Bass is on loan from Sunderland. He's their goalkeeper. Jake Reeves at center midfield was brought in from Stevenage. Ryan Johnson from Stockport County. James Tilley from Crawley Town. Josh Neufeld from Luton Town. Armani Little from FGR. Well, he played with them for a little bit, but really he came in the window. Omar Bugiel from Sutton United. Joe Lewis. Massive turnover. So I don't know what you can do with the stats from last year because this is an overhauled team, and I guess that's why there's an expectation they're going to move up to the middle of the table. So lots to go through, a little bit difficult on this one because the stats are kind of all over the place not being in League Two, but let's get into it. So let's go to the forward position. You have Josh Davison. He had 37 games last year. One of the only players that played at Wimbledon last year. Not a lot of stats on footy stats to give insight, but he did have 9 goals in 37 games. That's only 0.25 goals per 90 minutes. So suggest being 23, he's going to likely get surpassed by some of the other forwards that we go through. So let's see who we think is going to be there. Omar Bugiel, 28, he transferred from League Two rival Sutton United this summer. I would expect him to be a top target. He hasn't performed well yet, but very positive looking stats once you get past his goals per 90. He's only got a 0.20 goals per 90 minutes, but he's got a lot of shots per 90. He's in the 61st percentile. His conversion rate and his shot accuracy is really high. They're both at 89. He's at the 89th percentile. So that's a guy that you suggest will bury his chances if given the opportunity. You'd think he's probably going to get the opportunity here. So I'd suspect that if you're going to pick somebody who might end up carrying the team, it's more likely, I would suggest, to be Omar than it would be to be Josh Davison. You've also got another transfer from the January window last year in Al Hamadi. He's only 21. He appeared in 21 games for Wimbledon. He had 10 goals. That's a 0.64 goals per 90. He came off the bench in the first game and just for 35 minutes. But you think at 21, he's going to get some more experience. His statistics definitely demonstrate, at least preliminarily, that he's got the opportunity to fill the net, being at that 0.64 goals per 90 at 21. That's an impressive rate. They had 2 right wingers to start, and I'm not sure exactly how that worked. James Tilley, who's a Crawley Town transfer, Josh Neufeld, who's a young Luton Town transfer. I suspect one of them was in the midfield, but I didn't watch the game. But anyway, with Mr. Neufeld, 23, he appeared in 30 games in League Two. he only had 2 goals. He didn't have any assists. That's 0.09 goals assist. That's his contribution rate per 90, which as a forward, even on the right wing, that's not that impressive. It's 11th percentile for goal contribution, despite 72nd percentile in matches played and 68th in minutes. So you'd expect something better. But his assist ratio was below 12% last year. The upside that he has on his statistics, he appears to be a good crosser, if not exceptional. 71st percentile with his successful crosses. Shows maybe that the issue was not his passing last year, but maybe it was finish from the people that were in the middle. So you'd expect, though, if you look at somebody like Josh and you look at somebody like Omar, who's got the high conversion rate, those are 2 statistics that you cross your you cross your eyes? No, you scratch your head and you think there could be something there as far as that combination that could work. Not very solid in the ground duels was Josh Neufeld, but you know what? There's some optimism there. James Tilley, he's the Crawley Town transfer, League 2. More positive contributions at 25 than Josh Neufeld, who I just went over. He had at 23, he had 0.20 goals and assists per 90, so that's his contribution rate's a little bit higher. That put him in the middle of the league last year, 77th percentile in goals per 90 minutes. Shots and shots on target were both in the 80th percentile, and he had average defending stats that were in the middle of the pack. So not sure if there's as much room for growth there statistically. You look at what Josh Neufeld has provided and you think, those crosses could end up working if he's got somebody who can end up finishing. James, a little bit less development on as far as being the individual stats, but he's proven himself to get a little bit more around the net as far as finishing. So there's some hope and optimism there, but nothing really definitive and lots of options. I'm sure that for the Wombles fans, the Dons fans, they'll be assessing on any given Sunday, any given Saturday, who's going to be playing and who's not. In the midfield, you've got Jake Reeves. He was subjectively called by one person that I follow as their best signing from the transfer window. So there has to be something that's subjective about that doesn't show up in the statistics, because when I look at his statistics, he is the definition of League 2 average. He sits in the 36th to 65th percentile in essentially all statistics. Defensively, there's a lot to be desired. He's horrible in ground duels. He's in the 10th percentile, 34th percentile in aerial duels, 54th percentile at getting dribbled past. There is one positive in his statistics, and that's that he's 73rd percentile in interceptions. So what does that tell me about Jake? He's probably good in space, but just not good in tight. I'd suggest that's what it says, because he's able to read well and get those interceptions, but he's just not good with the duels and finding the passes. The other option to Jake Reeves in the midfield, Armani Little, 26. He played with Forest Green Rovers last season and then joined Wimbeldon mid-season. He's the opposite of Jake in that he's impressive statistically. Maybe average defensively, 36th percentile to 72nd percentile in most of his statistics that I'll put up here. But he does have superior-like stats when it comes to his crosses, 89th percentile and 93rd percentile, which again, you have somebody like Jake Reeves, who if you put with Josh Neufeld, who's there with Omar to end up cashing in individually, they all demonstrate that they've got some rather scary stats if they can figure out their game. So maybe best that we get them in the second game of the season, because there's some synergies there that I'm curious to see how they develop over the season. The other midfielder, Armani Little, we're just returning back, going to his other stats, 71st percentile in passing, 72nd percentile in assists. So again, looking for synergy, lots of overhaul. Hopefully they don't find it by Saturday. Defense, fascinating stuff sort of. Joe Lewis is on loan from an interleague competition, Stockport. I always find the inter-competition loans to be awkward. Why would you want to loan somebody within your division? Find him a spotter, get him down a division for more playing time, but to send to competition always seems weird. But they have him from Stockport. They've got old guard in Alex Pierce, who's at 34, and Lee Brown in reserve. And then there's a whole lot of academy players, like 7 of them, all 24 and under, sniffing around. Ogundare is one that I suggested, who featured in the last game. but it's difficult to pull the statistics for that under 24 crowd because they just don't have a large enough sample size to really get into it. So let's look at who we've got defensively then for AFC Wimbeldon. You've got Alex Pearce, 34, again mentioned he's a returnee. This is his second season. Another aerial beast, which you'd expect and desire in the center backs. 20 games last year. He was in the 94th percentile per 90 minutes. That's impressive. He was never dribbled past. And he was 99th percentile in clearances. Like, that is the definition of what you want in your center back. So maybe not so direct in this game, looking for stuff to come over. I don't know how you address that because he's good in the air. Weaknesses potentially, not a lot of interceptions, so through balls, that sort of stuff might be the opportunity, and not a lot of tackles. But if the ball is near him, it tends to be gone soon. He just appears to be a no-nonsense, blue-collar sort of center back, and there's a lot of reason why you'd be all for that. Ryan Johnson, 26, he came in from Stockport, sort of a carbon copy of Alex Pearce that we just went over, except maybe better in the interceptions. No nonsense defensively, 98th percentile in aerial duels, 95th percentile in ground duels, 91st percentile in clearances, 98th percentile in goals conceded per 90 minutes. So those are all stats that say individually he's good, and the team seems to perform well when he's there, which intimates some sort of positional awareness to make sure that there's no mistakes that might not show up on the individual stats. But not a lot of tackles, which again, maybe not a bad thing because tackles often are a sign of desperation. He just seems to be statistically, when I looked at the stats, as an in-control defender. And then the other defender that you've got other than the 7 academy players, Lee Brown, 32, he's a returnee, second season. Not nearly as solid as Alex and Ryan as a defender. Not impressive in his aerial stats, 60th percentile in his duels. Quite bad in his interceptions at 45th percentile. So I'd like to see Lee Brown in the lineup if I could. That'd be great. But if you've got Alex Pearce and Ryan Johnson back there, you know you're going to not want to go after those two. You're looking for whether it be Lee Brown or one of the academy players that's filling in. That seems to be where the potential weakness is with this team. As far as the keeper, you've got a true goalie duel going on there, and I don't know what they're going to do. They've got Alex Bass, who's on loan from Sunderland. He's 25, but they also have their journeyman, long-standing Kiwi Nick Zanev, who had 44 appearances for the team last year. He was basically the guy. To be fair, Zanev he had 39 league appearances, 3,510 minutes. Average performer. He was like literally 51st percentile in save percentage, 66th percentile in conceded goals per 90 minutes. And so not bad, but not great. And so I think that's probably why in the first game they went with Alex Bass, see what he's going to end up doing. And it's tough to compare because Bass only had 5 matches that I can find last year, 1 League Cup, 1 FA Cup, and in 3 in the Premier League 2, so the U23 division. So a little bit difficult to predict exactly what the goalkeeper situation is going to be there. And so I realize that is a lot of statistics. Just to look subjectively then at AFC Wimbeldon, you've got that 4.5-hour drive if you're heading over to London to end up taking this one in. So it is one of the longer journeys that the team will go on. As far as how to compare them to North American teams, I guess if this with the NHL, they'd be maybe the Winnipeg Jets being a team that was moved away to Phoenix, and then another team rose from the ashes in the current iteration of the Winnipeg Jets. In the NBA, maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves. You've got the Houston Texans in the NFL. Major League Baseball, I don't know who you'd go with. The Washington Senators, now the Washington Nationals, would probably be the Major League team. You can't hate on a team when a community gets their club ripped from them, and then they find a way to rise from the ashes, and especially in the way that they did. There's got to be some sentimental connection, I'd suggest, from Wrexham and AFC Wimbeldon. So I hope we still beat them, but I'm not going to hate on AFC Wimbeldon for the year, and especially when they play the Dons, I hope they bury them. As far as if we were to compare AFC Wimbeldon to a food, because I did that with MK Dons, I'm going to call these guys a puff pastry. Not something you really are chasing after when you're looking for a delicious treat, when you're really excited, but how can you hate a puff pastry? So you've got the Wombles, the Australian marsupials. I'm going to have that vision in my head. That's who we play on Saturday. Looking forward to it. Join the live chat. We've got people in now. I think we've got like 8 countries that have been covered in the live chats. It's starting to pick up a little bit of steam. It's an opportunity just to stay connected and express your opinion as the game's going on live and get involved in the chat that way. Subscribe to this, please, if you wouldn't mind. Take the time to hit that button. Helps the algorithm. Like it as well. Helps the algorithm. Trying to increase the numbers. My watch hours are great. As far as the analytics are concerned, it's the subscribers. People are giving me great comments, and I'm very happy to provide these. I look forward to it because I'm learning a ton as we go through it. So join the chat, subscribe. This is the Red Horde. We'll see you on Saturday. I'm muted. Now I have to start the whole speech over again. I'm in the airport, or sorry, in the airport. I've gone through the airport. I'm jet lagged. I'm coming to you from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm hoping the hotel Wi-Fi holds out throughout this entire battle, and you guys are able to hear me okay. Ran the preview. I don't know if you guys have seen the lineups. I saw that Andrew was talking about it. And I'm hoping Andrew just said I'm still muted. I'm hoping that that's been rectified. Don't know if you guys saw the lineup. Ours is unique. Theirs is about what I was not hoping to face. They've got Al Hamadi starting. They've got Pearson Johnson in the back, and those were the 3 guys that definitely set up. For whatever reason, that wasn't the combination they went with in game 1. So the Wombles have thrown what I think are their best players statistically at us. And so where do we go from here? We've got our lineup. I'm wondering where McLean's going to set up. I'm assuming it's on the left and he's going to be a midfielder, or are they bumping Mendy forward? I'm a little bit confused on the left side as to what to see. I'm fine on the right side with the connection that we've got there. Barnett and the Canaanites. Let's try that one and see. I don't know if you guys have me here now. I'm hoping that my kid's laptop is a far better experience than my or my kid's iPad is better than my iPhone, and I apologize for that. A little bit of running around and headaches and all that sort of stuff, but hopefully, waiting on the chatting that you're able to get me. If not, you heard tapping, so that means maybe I can get back to it. Anyways, apologize for that. Was just talking about the roster and the lineups, and I know that everybody's running back on the field, and I don't know which one to play. So we're good. Then I'm gonna rearrange this and start to play it on the other way around so that I can actually enjoy the game with you guys. So just give me a moment to go ahead and do that. I'm with you, Andrew, if I didn't talk about this and get heard because of the microphone issues, but the left side I'm okay with Lee being up front. We've seen that before. I'm getting used to that, but I still don't know the Mendy McLean changeover and what's going to happen there and who's up front, because I always thought that McLean was going to end up being the sort of the replacement, the one up, the improvement on Mendy, not that they were going to work in tandem. So I'm curious to see what that ends up looking like. I'm also curious, and we'll probably never know, is whether Hosanna's injured or not. Because I know he was a game time decision, and it sounds like he didn't make the subs or the starting lineup, which makes me wonder, was it a game decision, or what could that have been? We will probably never find out. That will be a question for another day. Just racing to sign in so that I can actually enjoy this, because obviously I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to miss anything. Live match center, we're already a minute in. Watch live now, and I'm going to swap this around so I can actually hear the game with you guys. Technical glitches in Halifax, Nova Scotia, to be expected. Not always fun to log on, and the first thing you see is a bunch of activity sitting around the box, right? So, is that Mr. Griffiths doing the iFollow? Now, the only thing that I'm going to have to recognize is I'm not going to be able to draw you guys in because my screen's not big enough here to be able to do that and have a chat, but I'll have to. Yeah, and Phil, I thought about that as well, as to audio being paywalled and not being paywalled and that sort of thing. And I'm kind of two minds, because there's at least some money going to the club, and for that, I guess I'm okay with it. But obviously frustrating for people who don't have the means, right? So 26 video viewers, if you haven't, the game is available on iFollow. You're going to have to get it that way or through a dodgy stream. There's no other opportunity other than to do that. I'm sitting here trying to find a way to get kids' iPad set up because I'm in Halifax in a hotel room trying to get this all figured out. We'll get comfortable, crib in the corner, and that's just the way that my life's running right now. But we're here. I've got the game going on, and I'm not happy with the start, but if you saw the preview, Wimbledon comes out strong, has great first halves, and then they concede twice as many goals in the second half, or at least did last season, and that seems to be where their problems are. So let's deal with the expected output at the front, and then hopefully we're going to be able to address it and get back into the game later. But this is looking more MK Dons than it is Wigan, isn't it, to start? And I'm curious, is this going to be what we're anticipating then all the way through, as Mark's doing both? I mean, I'm all for it. Jeepers. If you guys are aligning your time with mine, well, and I can't even give it to you because it's come off of iFollow. I'm at 4 minutes and 38 seconds, 4 minutes, 40 seconds. So you guys can do that, and I won't end up ruining everything if you back everything up. But if you're new to the chat, I see that we've got 30 people here. That's great. Welcome. Let us know where you're from. We've had 8 countries that are here. Join the chat. I'll bring your comments out front, and we'll have an opportunity just to chat and express our thoughts. Although for right now, it's more panic than anything else. I'd just like to see things settle down. That was a confident play, wasn't? And I'm assuming that's Brandon. And thanks for coming back. It's nice to see that's all of you guys again. But steady, steady, steady. Sorry, we don't have a link for the stream, and it would be a copyright violation for me to even identify what that is. I'm not going to be able to provide it. If somebody else has a dodgy stream that works and they happen to put it into the comments, I can't control that. But the only way to view the game is through iFollow. I can give a little bit more color commentary as we go through things. I'll tell you, we're now 5 minutes in, and it's been pretty much dominated all the way through by the Wombles in their possession and attempts around goal. I haven't seen anything exceptionally scary. Bailed us out there, but it hasn't been the strongest of starts. MK Dons all over again, maybe. As far as starts, let's not talk about how it ends. All right, midfield throw in from the right-hand side. Let's settle down. See, that's just a wasted throw by O'Connell. We're looking to get control. The broadcaster even said it, trying to settle things down. And instead of just making a simple play and having a kickabout in the back, letting people get a run around, settle things down, he goes for a long throw down the right-hand side. I don't get that as a thought. Settle it down. Stop chasing the game. Play it short or thump it down. All right, we'll take that. All against the measure of play. Left side. Down to Mendy. Cross in. Again. Far less time than we anticipated. And of course, now the counterattack comes the other way. Well done. Tozer settling things down. This is... Is this like Pee Wee soccer, just thumping the ball down the field and everybody running onto it? Entertaining stuff. Turn that, you bet. So I don't know where everybody else is viewing. We've got a number of people in here. Chat hasn't been rolling as vigorously as it normally does as we all get settled in. But feel free to drop a comment and let us know where you're listening in on. Brandon, Andrew, Dale, I've seen all of you guys. I know where you're at. Mike's here, I believe. South Africa and then the US, Canada all represented that I'm certain of. Pennsylvania, Stephen. Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Anybody else surprised that the Wrexham away crew is way louder than the Wombles? Is that just the politeness of London? I would have thought that a team with this much history. Ugh. Was that EOC again? I'm starting to. The pendulum's starting to sway here on O'Connell. Phoenix, and that's not the individual from Phoenix that I know of. It do I? No, I don't think it is. A couple of great fans in Phoenix, at least. Good get. Going for a run. Do it all. I hear you, Brendan, but has the midfield even had a chance to touch the ball much? It's been thumping, searching balls from the goalkeeper or the back line, overlooking everybody to the forwards and not getting to them. You're preaching to the choir here. I It was way more fun against Wigan. This is back to the MK Dons. Just feel like nails are holding on to the edge of the cliff and waiting to either see if we get our footing or whether the hands give away and we go for a tumble. We'll take that. Settle it down. Oh, Jesus. Good job, EOC. Get out. Redeem, frustration. Oh, I was impressed. I will say, I just ended up saying is the pendulum going one way and then he gets a couple back. You know, the clearance could have been a little bit better, but I'm not going to get too picky because primarily he was there for the stops. So Mendy over to the left. I'm okay with this, and I'm also so far more comfortable coming down the left side. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cannon coming in like a wrecking ball there. Overhead charge. Jed. Nice to see ya. Oh, sorry, Julie. I didn't know. I'll do a little bit more. I know Mark Griffiths, but I'll do the thing. So we're at the 14-minute mark. We're starting to just get our legs. Wrexham's going from left to right, Wimbeldon from right to left. That was a dangerous ball all the way down into the box, and Hamidi, wow. Ooh. Alhamdi. I thought it was Alhamidi. Alhamdi. That was a searching ball from the goalkeeper that went entirely down the middle of the field and landed on their top players. And if you saw my preview, Alhamdi's got some amazing shot conversion ratios, but what hasn't been receiving a lot of ball. And they go and they add people who end up providing good service, makes me a little nervous. Wimbledon seems to be quite strong down the middle. The question for them is on the outside. So Mendy's now searching down the left side, and he ends up earning a corner. So I think this is the first corner we've had of the game. It's not a problem at all, Julia. I'm glad you're here, 4 miles from the race course, and you're listening to a Canadian give broadcasting because of how insane it is. That is the world. So Mendy's just about to take the corner. Short, flat corner comes in, middle of the box, easily cleared. It's now back out. Oh, it wasn't Mendy that took it. TOC took it. Mendy's got it now. Oh, Lee took the corner. See, the joy of my screen being as small as it is I'm assuming by position and difficult to see. So they're all down the left side. We're at least searching here. An attempt to get into the box by Lee. It's cleared away. Now we're resettling everything in the back line. O'Connell's got it on the right side. Searching into the middle. A header, but to nobody, and they'll take possession, and it's Wimbledon now looking to come our way. I don't recall O'Connell being so hit or miss last season. I thought what you saw was what you got, and it was like B+ quality, not quite right up there. But this season, he's been A+ in the Wigan game and a C-, maybe even an F in the Wigan, and here he's at a B so far. Wrexham set up coming in on the left side. There's an entrance into the box, misses everybody, goes out. It's a goal kick. It's got to be frustrating, Julie. I'm assuming that the blackout's in full effect in the UK and you guys can't log in. It's something that boggles my mind that you guys have to deal with. I hate blackouts. I don't think they work. I think connecting a team sells tickets, and showing kids the game sells tickets to the players that they love. And not only tickets, gets them involved and gets them playing, just for health reasons and development. So Wimbledon has a long kick downfield to the right. Whoa, that looked like a potential dangerous aerial, but everybody came up okay. Wimbledon maintains possession on the right. I'm just always looking for number 10 in the box and where Alhamdi is, because he's the guy that's got the finish. So it cross in from the right. Whew. Whistle blew. I'm assuming that's a foul. Yeah, I couldn't cope with that. That's just unnecessary and frustrating. And it's just a 3 o'clock game, which now we play a lot more 3 o'clock games. It's going to be tough for you guys to enjoy the season. Easier for us in North America with the streams, right? We need to get a free sub so that we can put EOC on for the first 10 minutes. And if he's on, you leave him. And if he's off, you end up using that free sub and you take him off. So midfield now for Wrexham with the throw in down the left-hand side again. It seems to be where most of our activity has been moving, is through McLean and Mendy down the left, with Lee sort of pitching in. Not a lot of activity over to the right. Well, the match isn't on ESPN Plus. Maybe I don't know why it wouldn't be on. It's not on DAZN in Canada, but I know that they're only covering televised Carabao Cup games, which makes the game against Bradford a little bit concerning for the international followers. I don't know how that's going to get onto TV. So that should have been a foul. That should have been a foul. He took his legs out right from under him. Long range shot. It goes wide, but yeah, Parkinson's screaming on the sideline. Yeah, I think we get it easy, except the only inverse is we're going to get the League Cup games. I think you guys are going to be able to get streams for, or sorry, we get the league games. I think you guys get better streams for the League Cups. which doesn't matter. I'd rather have the league game, so I guess I shouldn't complain. But it might be tough for me to do the Bradford Wrexham game unless we get picked up on TV, which I think they'll probably give us a break. There's enough tasty competitions in that in the second round that I think it's going to be tough for Bradford Wrexham to get picked up. So Foster straight down the middle. We don't gain possession. Oh, wow, that was a great touch. Beguil tries to get in, gets forced off the ball. Was that Boyle? That just owned, like, that was dangerous, and Boyle just put it to a stop. Yeah, that's a foul for us at midfield. Lee now got taken down. Oh, that was EOC on the wrong side. You know what, O'Connell? I'll give you some more applause. The roller coaster continues, because that was a great first touch with the right. That was Beguil for Wimbledon. And he's kind of dragged it through on the right, aimed possession, had EOC on his shoulder and nobody else in front of him. And that's where you start to get nervous, because he's got an opportunity to take a crack. And EOC got in front and put an end to it. So Mendy now looking from the left. Lee and Wendy and McLean all down the left. Just everything's over there, which makes it harder to see numbers and what's happening. But we're still just kicking the ball about down there. And Julia, I'm from Vancouver, but I'm actually in Halifax, Nova Scotia, just for a week. Came here with the family just to soak it up. I'm now only 4-hour time difference from Wales and a 6-hour flight. Nice kick, deflection, scores! That was scary. So Lee got that one. Mendy went down the left-hand side, got it to the goal line, kicked it back. It came back, and then Lee took a shot. It took a deflection, a weird bounce, and it was one of those ones where you're not certain if it's going to fall into the net. But it went over and over and slow rolled its way into the back right corner. So it is now 22 minutes in, and we're looking at a 1-0 lead. So I'm just going to watch the replay to make sure that I got that right. And it is. Mendy's going down the left. He's got two guys actually looking, and he finds the gap between them right into the middle of the box. It was a beautiful ball. And he got it right in there, and that's exceptional stuff. We will take it. So I'm hoping you guys can all still hear me. My laptop's giving me a little bit of jip. Oh no. I'm hoping I'm able to stay on. I'm not certain. I lost connection on my laptop, so I'm looking, and the iPad seems to be okay. But that was Mendy doing some damage down the left side, and we're back on it. Good on my end. So I'm going to assume that the iPad's really good. I may end up losing connection here off the laptop, and it just is something I'm going to have to deal with. So as you're following, we're now at the 23rd minute. They just gave the ball away to us in midfield. Palmer's got it, and we're running forward, but it looks like they've got numbers back. Mark Griffiths is getting excited too. You can tell from that turnover, he's now, the cadence has improved. Carabao. Do I keep saying it Caribou? Because that's going to be my bad habit. I lived in a district in Canada called the Caribou for 5 years, and my parents lived there, so it comes out all the time. That goal, the slow bouncer, like that hit 4 times before it went into the back of the net from Lee off the deflection. And I'd normally do fun things like put the score up on the thing, but because of the technical stuff that's going on, I don't want to touch anything. I'm just going to talk and bring in the chats. I don't want to move around on the screen. Okay, perfect, because now I don't feel so bad. And yes, Dale, it's been like that the entire game. So we've got a Tozer throw in coming from the right side here. Long one in. And Brendan and I were talking about this before, the sort of throws going short post, long post. Oh, wow. Rocket in, and that was TOC sitting right on the right post, got ahead to it, but into the goalie's gloves and up over top. Pressure was on. Tozer got it forward, and Barnett straight over to TOC. Forced the goalie to make a good save, right? That's what you want to do, and he was called upon there. So here comes another corner. The game of two different segments so far. It was all Wombles, and now it's all us. Long ball in, easily claimed by the keeper. And they went with Alex Bass. This is the Sunderland lone player in goal that they've got starting today. I wasn't sure whether they were going to go with their Kiwi that started their 44 games last year. So Little, Reeves, Wimbledon's got it in their half with possession, just kicking it around, looking to come forward. Yeah, it's the joy and the curse. And I'm noticing now I've got an extra stream of my ugly mug on the bottom since I reloaded. I don't want to have to try and fix that. Turn that off. That's just me now. And so Wimbledon's got it on the right side. Mendy easily closed them off, and that'll be a throw-in. Short throw in there, now playing it over on the right-hand side. And they'll redo it. Another throw on the right side, another short one. And it looks like it's out again. Oh, no. And that was from the midfield on the right-hand side, a long searching ball. I don't think he meant to pump it as hard as he did, but he dumped it and it landed on the back of the net, forced Fossey to make a jump, but it wasn't a real threat. I don't know what he was actually attempting to do there. Julia, I've got iFollow. I paid whatever it was, 280 Canadian, 170 quid. And so I've got all of the league games streaming through iFollow. It's unfortunate that you guys can't use it. And there was a paywall behind just the audio only, and you can do that as well. I don't know and I believe that is available in the UK. So if you wanted to hear Mark doing the game without us, you can do that as an option. McLean now into the box on the right side. Oh, that was Johnson, and I believe that's one of their young guys, if I recall correctly. But that was impressive. He got closed in on a 2-on-1 and not able to do it, so got kicked out for a clear. Andrew, he's got the dimensions though, doesn't he? Like maybe a little bit thicker he could get, but as far as his height goes, he's there. Oh, long throw in. Come on, turn on it. Well, that was close to a handball just below. And that was handball against us. Man, just scrambly. There's been a kick on the box. McLean got taken down. There was a handball, I think, actually legitimately on us. Anybody can use a VPN, Stephen, anywhere they want. I don't know how long it lasts, but I know a lot of people over there use the dodgy Fire Sticks. It's not something we do in Canada. Greywall, that gray industry people have sort of turned away from. But I know lots of people in England who have those dodgy Fire Sticks. Man, that was... Palmer had a crack. I think You just try to hammer it through, guys. Maybe get a handball, miss. Boyle gets wiped out, and the ball comes out. That was a crazy sequence. Way better, Brendan. It's been the tale of two halves of the first half. So Wimbledon now searching left side. Does he lose it? Whew. Mendy out of nowhere with the sprawling left boot knocks it out. Like, that was nuts. How did he? And that was intentional. Wow, out of nowhere. That was a clear coming in, almost like the goal that Lee scored, and Mendy just comes out of nowhere with this, with the Sonic like pace, diving across in front of him and clears the ball out the sideline for a throw in. O'Connell flip up, Palmer down. We're moving. Get it up to McLean. Get it to McLean. Lee too slow, so he passes it off to Mendy to continue the play, and McLean's now chasing it down. We lost it. Searching anyway. Sorry, I keep referencing England because my wife is English. And so it's something I try to get. I'm Canadian. I get the difference between North American. We get called American all the time. So I know how much it bothers people. So I'm doing my best. And I know the difference, but it sometimes just slips out. And so when I say in the UK, the in-laws are in Doncaster. And that's where I don't want to get them in trouble if anybody's listening. But that's where I've seen those fire sticks in operations. Barnett on the right side. We haven't had a lot of action on the right side. But I don't know if he's got the skill set. If he's got the talent, he's a perfect signing because he's got three people to learn from and he can get there. I don't know, but I don't know. I've never seen him, so there's no way I can judge. I can see that being a good signing, but we'll never know. I get your pain, Julia. So not much has been happening, sort of been playing ticky-tack in the midfield back and forth here. So not much going on with the game, sitting at the 32-minute mark on my screen, 32 and a half minutes in. Holy. Small world. Dare I narrow it down and say Bessaker? Andrew's on repeat here. We've got a cross in. I guess I should follow. I got excited here, paying attention to see what was happening. We're down, looking to get a cross in on the left side. Good tackle against Mendy. Wow. Textbook. And then O'Connell gets a takedown. Oh, and we've got a flop. That is an impressive flop. Wimbledon fans are actually calling for off. I didn't even see the hands go out on that one. Did anybody else see anything? Oh, Boyle puts his hands up, getting ready to jump, and the guy runs into his elbow. I mean, that was... and he's acting like he just got shot in the jaw. A meal out of it. Wimbledon's got it now. 35th minute cross into the box. That was dangerous. Mendy kind of got trapped on below. they're able to save it on the right side, and so Wimbledon maintains possession. Mendy blocks across. Wimbledon still searching. Long searching ball from the right side. And they've got possession. Oof, off the feet, and they're still looking. Another cross in. Cleared out. Lee, that's a come on. I don't think that's a card because I don't think Bougiel intended to get there, or it was sort of, yeah, that's a foul. That's not a yellow to me, but yeah, the signing could be amazing. It could be nothing, and we'll never know until we actually get a chance to see what happens to the guy, right? For everybody who's got a line that's from Wales, we know where Wales is from, right? I fly the flag, even though I'm 33% Scottish. I've got enough Welsh in me that I can lay some claim. Let's be honest, I'm the entirety of the UK plus add throw Ireland, and that's just where it's at. Not quite an equal measure, but probably on a population distribution basis. So 36 minutes, Wimbledon's kicking it around in the back. Goalie just moved it up to the left side. Long ball in. Tozer just clears it, and O'Connell sort of misplays, and it got cleared out. So we'll get a throw in here and get to turn it the other way from the right-hand side. I don't know if we'll ever actually get to see him in a game. I don't know what's happened to Leighton. I haven't seen on Twitter. Howard's been okay. Fozzie's still there. So maybe in a cup game, maybe in the Newcastle Trophy match that's coming up. Give him a shot to get out there. But to me, I think this is you get the experience. Maybe 2-3 appearances. Well, not until January. 1 or 2 until January. That Cannon took it on the right side and then had a look for Lee and couldn't get it there. A name I haven't said, Palmer, which against his old team, I would have thought that he'd get it in there. Mind you, nothing down the right side. Maybe that's the reason why. That's got to be a foul against us on the play on the other side. Palmer doesn't go down very easily, and he got jumped over the back. Long searching ball. I don't know if he's onside here. Yeah, flag went up. So that was Wimbledon looking to clear it down, and Al Hamdi got too far ahead. And in a perfect example, Julia, I found out that my hometown, well, not hometown, where I'm living in Canada, Vancouver, has the only dedicated Welsh hall in Vancouver. Old historic, been there for like 120 years. So I'm hoping to go for beers with, there's a local Wrexhamite that lives sort of near us. And I'm hoping that we can meet there and maybe go for some brews at the Welsh Hall. Wrexham, lots of numbers. Get it out to Mendy. Mendy's on the left side. We've got lots in the box. Find ahead. McLean. Oh. So McLean got ahead on it. Not quite enough force. It was looking for the left part of the goal, right if you're facing from the goalie. And but it wasn't just not enough force on it to get it past. It was a pretty easy save there for Bell. I think that we've looked good in searching through the buildup. more so than the long kicks over top, where the midfield's had a chance to set it up, search out to the wings, crosses into the box from either side. That's what's been working. TOC got taken out there on a foul, and a yellow card came out. Was that Bouguil? Yeah. He's a fiery man, isn't he? That's the same guy who complained about the elbow on the jaw, the same guy that flopped out in the box earlier. Now he just takes out TOC late, ends up getting a yellow card. So that's the first booking that I recall, unless somebody's seen something else. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't paying attention, but that's deserved. And I think that was the first one, right, Andrew? Anybody else? If you haven't seen anything, I haven't seen it. So, and I'm not opening up browsers to have a look at anything. So 41st minute here. I'll keep on chatting. I see the bar going up here, and we'll hope that I'm able to end up joining. And usually when I can hear myself in the headset, it's back. So I think I'm back now. And as long as it doesn't collapse, So Bouguil there got that yellow, and I think it was well deserved. He's fiery, fiery, fiery. Everything sounds good. So I'm going to keep going. It's usually a good sign when I can hear it in here. I've got some problems bringing some stuff into the chat. You can now see two of me, and that's just how I had to set it up. Hotel Wi-Fi and wonky things, but I'm going to focus on the game and try and clear that up during the half. And so you'll just have to deal with seeing my ugly mug twice. 42 and a half minutes in. The good news is not much has happened since, other than that Bouguil yellow card. And he is fire. He's been out there. Been chirping. He's the guy who took the elbow from McLean, which I don't think was his fault. McLean was just looking to jump, and Bouguil ran into it. And he took TOC out late, and the referee called that. So we've got the ball, possession on the right, searching to try and get it through the midfield, and McLean, nice. Like three. Wow, he took on three guys there. Had about three good touches while it was in the air. It pushed it around and ended up losing possession. Trying to go through the whole team. Bouguil diving. We fortunate. Whew. Tilly with a bad touch. Otherwise, that was going in the net. That was Alhamdi and Bouguil. Interplay between the two of them on the left-hand side. Finally get the cross into Tilly, who was screaming down the center. And Tilly, bad first touch, and it rolled off, and Howard was able to collect. But yeah, that's Alhamdi to Bouguil. Bouguil kind of loses it. Alhamdi kicks it over, and Tilly, bad first touch, and Mendy was nowhere really close to Tilly. He would have had all the time and all the space. So we dodged a bullet there. Yeah, Michael, that was exactly my response. Phew. It just was not pretty, that one. So we'll find out here in 30 seconds what we've got for injury time. A complete miss kick there from Wimbledon, just giving us possession on the right side. Sorry, left side. So we've got it, settling it down, trying to set up on the left, but we're just too much pressure, too many bodies. So Bouguil going to lose his mind again. So 3 minutes of extra time. I don't know if that was, to be fair, I'll back the Wombles up. I think they should have just let that play on, but I guess he just wanted to settle it down because there was a melee of about 3 players for each team, just trying to force each other out, arms on bodies, pulling people, call something. So call it on the defensive team and have it move forward. So McLean looking at it. That's a corner. He's earned a corner. No. That's a weird one. Caesar. I'd say Heidi and bring this thing up on the screen, but I can't do it because I'm afraid of breaking things. So only 3 minutes of at a time. It'll be 2 minutes that's here. I'm going to probably put on the be right back message and see if I can clean some things up. Hopefully I can. Feel free to stay for the chat and express your thoughts. Back and forth in the midfield, we've gone now 3 or 4 times. Now we just kicked it back. They've now kicked it back. And now it looks like they might have some possession coming our way. Yep, and they do. Men coming, screaming down the left. Nerfell against Barnett. That goes out. That's just going to be a straight Barnett. Wow. Everybody's giving him some love. That was impressive. And I think he was actually beat a little bit to start. And Barnett just caught up really quickly, got his foot on the ball, back off of Neufeld, went out. And now we've got a minute left. Fozzie's going to take the goal kick. It's starting to get with the whole crew that we've got here. You know, we see everybody showing up, and it's like, how's it going? We're getting to know everybody. It's kind of nice to have the regulars. Oh, turnover for us. Lost it. Just having a kickabout here for the last 15 seconds. This is their long searching ball to see if they can do something with it. Nerfel's got to be getting tired of Barnett on the left-hand side because that's twice he's just been dispossessed pretty easily and cleared out. So we're into the 3-minute mark, and there's the whistle for halftime. So that's the halftime whistle. I'm going to try and set this up without breaking everything. Gonna do your thing. So feel free to stay, chat, get to know it, go and have a beverage or a beer or coffee, depending on where you are and what's appropriate. And I'm going to do my thing. So if I can get my stuff up. and should be back. I can hear my voice. Everything seems to be fine there. Brendan, I don't know what's going on with the link stuff. What I've able to do is send a producer link out to you, send a producer link out to my iPad through another account. For whatever reason, it's not connecting us to the actual video. And so I haven't been able to figure that part out. That'll have something I'll have to do after the game, but I think it might have been because we weren't producers when the game started. And so I think the next time we log in, we'll be able to do all that sort of stuff. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll bring you in for the second part of the half. If you're okay with that, I'll just take a thumbs up. Cool. I'll take that as a yes. And I'll bring you in, and then if I have any audio issues, then you can sit there and cover, and everybody can follow along. And I guess the challenge will be is us giving. I'll do more of the play-by-play and taking gaps. So if you get the chance to keep everybody updated, then I think we should be good. So good numbers, everything's there. Hopefully you guys have been able to find everything out. The iFollow's down below. I was looking at the stats. That was a pretty even first half. We've got shots 5-4 for them, possession 55-45 for us, passes a little bit more for them, pass accuracy about the same, fouls we had one more than them, they had an extra yellow card, offsides identical, corners are identical, and that kind of makes sense to me. That was a half that I can say was equal as between the two teams, and we'll see how it goes. If there is an upside, AFC Wimbeldon was a weaker second half team, and so hopefully last season. So hopefully that carries on. We'll be fine. Players are just making their way on, and so I'm going to go ahead and bring Brandon back into, and you should be there. What I'll do is I'll set up the screen so that we're both set up the same way, and there we go. Welcome, Brendan, to the chat.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I appreciate you doing this every time. I tend to have ugly tech stuff happen all the time, and you've been the savior on many occasions. I'll end up having to buy you a beer at some point when we get together.
I've been having technical difficulties too. iFollow's been dodgy for me today.
Oh, has it been? I haven't had problems on the iFollow front. It's just been... I want to stop clicking and echoing through. I'm trying to get the game up as the ball's down at the spot. So Wrexham from right to left on your computer screen.
Oh,
and away we go.
Going to lose out. This phone's going to die on it.
Andrew, what are we going to do? Second half underway.
We're going to have another well-educated footballer give us expert commentary.
Yeah, what are we going to do without it?
I rely on Andrew to call me out when I'm saying something stupid.
I'll keep sending out the invite, but Andrew's more than welcome to join us on here. And in fact, you know, if there's other regulars that want to make an appearance at some point in time, the whole intention of this is just to kind of give us an option to give this to the mob.
I agree, WG.
So just
one more goal would be nice.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, it's just a one WG fan was saying that we need to get another goal. I wonder if it's like an American thing. I don't feel good with a 1-goal lead, but it seems like football fans are comfortable with a 1-0 lead, that they think that they can hold that that's a strong position to be in, and that it's not as difficult to stop someone from scoring if that's what you decide to do when you're up 1. And for me, it's just it's stressful. I don't feel good till
You've got that insurance marker.
Yeah, and I think it's because I'm more used to sports where scoring is easier, right? And it happens far more often, and therefore there's the expectation that one just won't hold up.
I'm just going to jump into the play-by-play. Tozer's got a long throw here coming into the box, and bouncing around all over the place. A crack from McLean, tried to find O'Connor, and they managed to get it out. And so 46 minutes and 50 seconds is where I'm at. If there are people who are watching the game, just to try and match up, if you want to back up the live stream so that you're following along. Wimbledon gets it down the field, left field side, off Howard. It's now they're still regain possession. Did they give this to us rolling out? No, it's going to end up being a Wimbledon throw. So numbers are up. 39 people. If you're not from South Africa, the United States, Canada, Greece, the UAE, Wales, England, or Caesar, I forget where you're from now. Argentina, I believe.
Yes, Buenos Aires.
Yes, and those are the 8 countries that we've got. So I'm always curious if we've got people from elsewhere who are tuning in. Ball just completely cleared down the field. And I see the ref, he's given a card. Did he give that to Lee? I mean, the camera didn't really show. That was a nothing ball, so I don't know what happened because it all passed over Howard. Fozzie just pumped it all the way down the field on the left-hand side. And, we earned it. So it was a yellow on them for the jersey grab. Grabbing by the front of the jersey. Well, that was fortunate. Because I thought there was nothing to that kick. But I guess maybe that's because Palmer was looking to turn. So here comes the kick into the box. It's enterprising in the middle, falls. It looks like it's going to go out. No, they gain possession. And then bounce off for a goal kick. So second yellow card. I'd have to actually bring up the name of the individual who got it because I don't know the Wombles lineup well enough to know who ended up taking that one. From the country of Florida. Don't think that counts. Maybe I should start keeping track of the states. We've got Arizona, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Florida.
Texas, you have Texas, Dale.
Yeah, we have Texas as well. Yes, Dale.
Yeah, Texas and Florida are almost their own thing.
Fair enough. Into the box, kick up over top and a little bit fortunate. That's one of those ones that I always consider where he kind of gets, there's a little bit of hands on the chest there for Bougiel as he's having another fit in the pouting on the ground. Is if that was outside of the box, you might have called that a foul and given a free kick. But inside the box, it's not worth giving a penalty for it. And that was certainly due a yellow card. I'm with you, Andrew, there. And Jason, I'm not saying it's not its own place. Florida is certainly its own place. More so than most. But I'm not going to give it country status. Howard gets it down. They've got possession, and here they come again. Push in the back. Just a foul. So they'll get a free kick from there. And is that Bougiel again? I just think foul Bougiel throughout the game. And now he's grabbing. And what's he doing here?
He's a lot of cheap stuff.
Yeah, what was that all about? He just ran over to Lee, picked him up by the left arm, and then sat there and kind of bear hugged him on the right-hand side. Didn't look like it was comforting, consoling. I'm assuming there were some words exchanged. I can only imagine. But Bougiel's, he's in his head. Sorry, you're going to hear some ticking because for whatever reason I've lost my audio on iFollow. As soon as you said you were having
I have to keep going back.
Problems, I end up having my own.
I'm jinxing you.
So Wimbledon on the right side now with possession, interplay with each other, just kicking it back and forth between two there. Our defenders are there, and here comes the cross in. Header. Oof. To the left of Fozzie, kind of went out harmlessly, but they played with that back and forth with about 3-4 exchanges back and forth until they got it back for the cross. Didn't look like it was going to be that dangerous, but the only guy that was there was 18, and I can't remember his name. Newfell. He wasn't able to get that in.
What time
Fozzie with the thump down the field.
I'm at 52:45.
Is Parky still being enthusiastic? He was earlier in the game. I'm assuming that will continue again.
He's not on camera much.
Brendan, you might have to turn your mic up. Or I can do it on the screen here, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that on.
Going to be a throw to midfield for us. I'm not going to criticize iFollow. That was the first little glitch where I lost my audio for a bit. But if they're going to give HP money, that works. I'm at 53 minutes, 55 minutes, 50. 53 minutes and 20 seconds. So it's one of those things that if you're following along, it might be one of those things where if you're watching the game and me at the same time, just pull it back 2 minutes, or you'll just be ahead of me. And there's not much I can do. It's the time it takes to get restreamed and packaged and then delivered out to everybody. O'Connell with an impressive defend, but nobody able to help him out. And here they come again. Laid it up. Tilly leads it in back to Tilly, but it's going to run. Whoa. Tilly's sprawled out behind the goal, kind of took a weird leap. He was going to try to preserve everything, and he jumped over the first Sky Bet sign and then dove into the second one. And Alhamdi's up there looking for a foul, but I don't think you can give it to him. I don't think there was any interference there from Tozer. No, that was Tilly, not Tozer.
We're starting to make some stuff happen. I think I'm a little ahead of you, but
yeah, I'm gonna have to turn you up here. Just give me a second, Brendan. There, I've got your levels up now.
Okay, thanks.
Advantage being played because we had a foul. Oh, that's another foul. You got to give that one too. Barnett down the right-hand side had him beat around the right shoulder, pushed the ball ahead, and just kind of leaned into him and took him down. And so now we'll be setting up from the far right, just pretty much in line with the top of the box. McLean's going to take it. This will be interesting to see what he's got from the side. Here it is, into the box. Whew. Lots of pace, but easily taken by Andrew. Oh, drop the ball. There's going to be an extra foul. He gave us a yellow on that?
Yeah, that's weak, isn't it? Boyle being a little cheeky, trying to bump the keeper after he got the ball.
Yeah, I know he didn't need to interfere. I get that, but I don't think he actually meant to interfere. I think he was running past, and Andrew just threw the ball down.
Yeah, it was weak. Weak, definitely.
So, that is what it is.
So that was a suggestion I had for you. I actually downloaded a couple of documents that have information about yellow and red cards and the point system, and how it accumulates over the season, and
I should get. Yeah. I'm supposed to this weekend and next week. What I'm doing is going back to the website and trying to improve things, because that's supposed to be updating on my website, but it hasn't been as of yet. It is in the background. I just haven't improved it and taken some of the ads off the site. So I'm hoping to clean up that part and then bring that aspect into the game that tracks everything that's going on with cards and that sort of stuff as well.
But you're doing a video to explain it would probably be great, especially for the American fans.
Yeah, your audio is really low. Yeah, I hear that on the audio now that they did add a booking to the official. Yeah, we were talking about that, Andrew, the Boyle one. He went past, and Mark was talking about, oh, they're really into it over on the wings, so we'll take a timeout as they have a chat. So obviously the manager said something. The Boyle yellow, I'm not sure it should have been a yellow. You're not allowed to make a play on the ball, and I get that. And I don't think he did make a play on the ball. I think he was just running past, and Bass threw the ball down to go and play it, and Boyle was running past him. And yes, he made contact. And so they gave the yellow. I don't think it was well-deserved, but when you've given out now 4 to one side, and you got to give 1 to the other side and even it up, I think, is more than anything.
Yeah, we just gave a yellow to...
You're way ahead of us, Andrew. But we are under pressure. Into the box, off of the shin, over to the right.
Yeah,
I don't think that was a goal kick. Didn't that go off of their player?
Tozer.
It went off Tozer's knee? I thought it went off their own player.
No, he purposely...
Oh, it did go through. So that was a good stop by Tozer. It went underneath his legs. So
yeah.
Cleared again off of that entry. And they'll get another corner. Or throw in. We'll always take a throw instead of a corner unless it's Tozer. Because they're the same threat. And they've played short with all of their throw-ins from the right side, at least in the last half, and they do the same again. It just rolls out harmlessly, and we'll be able to turn this around. So if we're following along, I'm at 59 minutes here and 20 seconds. Seems like Andrew's flash score is faster than I am. Unless, Andrew, you've got radio. I don't know.
I'm at 16:20.
You're at 16:20 or 60:20.
Yeah.
A whole minute behind.
I just had to get out and back in.
I might hit the refresh button just to speed us back up.
You're saying I'm behind or you're behind?
I'm behind you guys.
Oh.
Like a lot behind. Enough that it's getting distracted because the chats are coming in minutes before they happen. Yeah, now we're back. I've gained a whole minute back up. I'm 60 minutes and 42 seconds in. Foster with the kick downfield.
Yeah, much closer.
Yeah. Note to self as we go through this in the season, upload everything and refresh everything at the half. Another harmless kick downfield, and now Baskets to take it for Wimbledon and distribute to us. Sort of 10 minutes in, not much to it, 15 minutes into it. We're just back and forth in the midfield. We've had the Wumbles had that one set of advanced pressure, nothing really from us. Lee here now plays it forward to Palmer on the left side, just on the inside of the box. It's blocked. Mendy collects it. He settled it down. Takes on 2 guys off of his backside, and Mendy collects it again into the box. And punt it out. Is it going to roll? Yeah, here comes probably Tozer for a long throw in from the left sideline.
Yeah, Palmer has not.
Are these Wombles players just standing there? I've never seen that before. They're like, we've given them a path. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. They were both just there. Took the box into the box, and it was just bouncing around. Nobody had a clear to it, although they've had an opportunity. And away they go with Alhamdi chasing it down to try and get there ahead of. I can't see the number. Fozzie returns it down. I don't know, Brendan, what your thoughts are on McLean so far. I mean, he's seemed to have the confidence to make plays. He's tried a couple of dribbling attempts, taken on, well, more than he probably should have, 3-on-1, but he's had some great first touches. I just don't know if there's been the interplay with the team, and maybe that's something that comes over time, and that's what I'm thinking, but I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on McLean.
Yeah, I think he's looked solid. I don't think he's looked great. Not too many plays standing out, but he's certainly been involved, and he's not turning it over. You know, he's managing it well.
Yeah, it's pretty much on par with what I was thinking. And here come Wimbeldon again down the left side. There's lots of midfield control getting turned over.
I feel that Ollie's been somewhat invisible. Like
that's
not getting in the picture,
especially compared to the Wigan game, right?
Yeah. You could not.
So corner upcoming to Wimbeldon. There was a block there, and I believe it was off O'Connell that went out across into the box from Newfill.
Oh, was that a hand?
In swinger from Tilly.
What?
Did your iFollow just go down?
No. Wait till you see this garbage.
I don't think I'm going to. My iFollow just locked up. You've cursed me.
Yeah.
Did it go in? Because if it did, you'll have to call it.
No. On the cross, supposedly Toes. I don't know. They're saying Toes or somebody took down a guy in the box. They gave him a penalty, so now they're about to take a penalty shot on Fozzie.
Oh wow! They called that a penalty?
Yeah, it looked really weak. I can't see where the penalty is. I don't know. Maybe they'll show another.
And they gave that. Wow.
Here we go.
Well, so this is Alhamdi. He missed last time. Knock on wood if you have to. Get there. Here comes the kick. Whistle blows. Stop! Woo, Fozzie! That's gotta, for Alhamdi now, you've got to ask questions, because that's 2 penalties, and he's missed both of them this season. And yeah, that was, he kicked it to the left. There wasn't a lot of pace. He was searching right along the ground. It wasn't halfway between the left post and where Fozzie was. Just sort of fall down, hit him in the chest, knocked it away. Somebody's going to be ended up taking more penalties, I think, for the Wombles, because you can't go that far, that many opportunities, and not end up finding, especially when last year was 78% of penalties went in. And but now we go to that 2-goal lead that you were talking about, Brendan, earlier, and the need for it.
Yeah.
Goal kick for us now. 66th minute. Settle it down. And maybe that's the football gods in play. There's always that saying that when there's a penalty that's given that shouldn't have been granted, that you tend to end up finding that those are the ones that are stopped. And that shouldn't have been a penalty. There's been weak stuff like that all over.
Yeah. Ball don't lie.
The ball don't lie, yeah. I'll tell you, though, it's been all Wimbeldon again. This is the carbon copy of the first half. Just pressure, and hopefully we're able to start to put the ball at our feet and just maintain it for a little bit.
Yeah, I want to see us be more aggressive.
One thing I'm going to have to bring up with the tech issues that were happening is I didn't see this standard traditional Parky 60th minute substitutions.
I think he needs to get Palmer out of there and put Dalby in.
I'm happy with that decision to get Palmer out. I'd like to say that he's done more and given him a chance against his former club, but it just hasn't been there for me.
Yeah. Get someone with a little more legs, make something happen.
And to be fair, I would take Dalby over Waters. That pass back kind of went through the legs of Boyle, but he's able to collect it.
Also, Wimbledon's defense on the left side, even though we've had chances, seems very solid. I'd like to.
Yeah.
I've seen Barnett beat his guy a couple times. I'd like to see them work that more.
Cannon with a nice little takeover there, but it's still just, we make a good tackle, it goes the other way. Alhamdi through the line. Oh, and a big kick. Oof. That was impressive.
Yeah, Foster's sharp.
That's another corner. O'Connor's angling him off, and nobody really took him. Tozer with a lazy backheel challenge as he was running through missed, and so that just opened up the lane for Alhamdi to have a crack, and Fozzie was there to be able to knock it out. Too much pressure. In the corner comes. Fozzie's able to get there with a punch. Too many bodies in front of him to do much more than that as far as control, but they've got it now. As they click back to the center line to set up. I've got no subs that came in from Google, which is odd to me because I'd be looking to bring in some legs. And you'd think Parky loves his 60th minute subs, but maybe he's been hearing the criticism that is too formulaic, that he's holding off on doing things.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Bickerstaff getting in there either.
I don't even see any action on the sidelines. So Wimbledon still with possession this time around center field, and they've kicked it away. So we're going to get a throw in down the right-hand side and hopefully just settle it down. Pressure again against us as we kick it around to the back. TOC. Tozer's now looking lots of pressure, and it forces that kick. And again, we're fortunate there that header goes out of play, and we're going to get some more time to try and settle it down. Just not able to deal with the pressure, it seems like, is to maintain possession for any extended period.
If you're a scoreboard watching, Newport's up 4-0, Stockport down 1-0, and Knots has taken the lead at Grimsby 3-2.
Knots and they've got Grimsby?
Yeah. They were losing at half. Now they're back ahead 3-2.
That's interesting. I'll tell you, you follow the Knots Twitterverse. 1 on 5. McLean doing his thing. The Twitterverse for Notts County, they think the sky is collapsing and falling. And
yeah, they didn't look good in their second game either, though. That's why.
Yeah. So a little bit of possession now, and hopefully we're searching. McLean was able to pull that one back and make sure that we maintain things, which is probably the right decision because he was running at way too many guys in the middle of the field. 71st minute.
Michael says the subs are warming up. The camera angle isn't showing the short sideline, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's just down on the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah. This isn't the ESPN crew. They only got one camera angle, and you're quite a ways back on it. So,
you know what? Who's man of the match so far? Do you have a name? I won't give you mine. I'll tell you who for me. It's 100% Mendy.
Fozzie. I'd say Fozzie.
Fozzie with the save, I can see that too. For me, like Mendy, another entry. Wow, dangerous. Oh, he just missed that one. Oh.
Lee should have had that. He should have.
Mendy's had the crosses. He's been back defensively. I think of that one in the center of the box where he made that diving ninja left-footed clear.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lee could have done, anyone could have done more with that. Like, it was a beautiful ball. Lee was there, just makes the dive to try and get his feet onto it, and just like maybe 6 inches to a foot too slow to get there. That was something to see.
That was a good save by Fozzie. That wasn't a miss by AFC Wimbeldon. You know what I mean? Like
on the penalty.
Yeah, he had to guess right.
Oh, you still had to get there. But as penalty stops go, that's about as easy as you're going to get it, other than somebody kicking it down the middle and you're not moving.
Yeah. I hear you.
Hey, and the score's 1-0. We're sitting at the 73rd minute, and we're dealing with a lot of Wimbledon pressure at the moment, although we just had an amazing opportunity there. So Mike says they're warming up over there, and you're the first from Scotland. So that makes it 9 different countries that have been covered so far, not including Florida, which would make it 10 if we counted it. Yeah. Bass gets it downfield. That looked like O'Connell just settling it down, turning it the other way, and now we've got 5 guys running up as AFC scrambling to catch up here. McLean, left foot, into the box, headed away, but Mendy's there on the left side, settling it down.
Oh! Yeah.
Kick, Mendy with the ball. Mendy's everywhere, man.
Wait until you see this.
Is there VAR? Oh, that one's clear. Lee in having his word. That's yellow for sure.
Yeah, they're trying to make the decision now. I think he's thinking about it. But that was an obvious. He was gonna
like right in the back of the legs. He's just sweeped them.
Oh, they only gave him a yellow. That's garbage. He took him out from behind. It was an obvious goal opportunity.
You're in a goal scoring opportunity, and he just swept his legs out. Yeah, yellow. That was close. Huh. I'd like to see that one on the replay, because
I liked Lee's feistiness, though. That guy was a foot taller than him.
You know what? I think you have to give yellow there, because I don't think he actually clipped him that much with the right.
Yeah, he didn't hurt him.
The intent was there, and fortunately for him, I think the actual outcome wasn't as severe as it could have been.
I know, they call those, professional fouls?
So anyway, we're 6 feet from the edge of the box, 5 men standing in the wall. Lee's standing there on the left side to use his right foot, TOC on the right to use his left foot. Yeah, we've got Boyle up into the box. And did they just give another card? Oh, Parkey got one, I think.
Yeah, they give Parkey. I think they're going to go with Lee here and not O'Connell.
For the Premier League, 3 leagues above. See.
Oh, no, goalie's moving.
Yeah, Parkey just took his yellow. You know what? I get
go
the anger there.
No.
Llandudno. And I don't know where that is, but I'm going to say welcome. I'm assuming from the double L that we're going Wales. But rule of thumb, nice to see you. We're about standing over the box, or standing over the ball. The referee's trying to get them to stand behind the spray, and Palmer's going back there pushing them to make sure to help him get there with a smile on his face as he does it. All right, they've moved back. They're behind the line. Lee and O'Connor will see who takes this. Lee through. Oh!
I think O'Connor should have taken it. There was more room on the.
You know what? I'm normally okay with that, but Lee found that gap between the wall. And you're then relying on the goalkeeper to make an exceptional save. To be all credit to Bass, he did, but I was okay with that as an outcome. Now we're just dealing with Wombles coming the other way. And Mendy, there as always today.
It was pretty much apt.
If anybody in the chat has a man of the match other than Mendy, I'm happy to hear it, but that's been impressive as far as performances go. That's probably the best game I've seen Mendy have.
Yeah, he's typically consistent offensively. It's his defense that's such.
The north end of Wales, perfect. I'm going to need to start to put a spreadsheet together because we're getting everybody from all over the place. So we're 77.5 minutes in. Rule of thumb, it's there. W&G, thanks for helping out with the insight. It's nice to know that we're adding another body who's got some knowledge of geography and football. Mendy again with a nice tackle, getting it out. So a throw in again. Wimbledon's on the right side, searching. Oh, whoa, everybody just gave him the... Mendy, no foul, turns it the other way. What was that? That was awesome. So everybody just peeled away to take a man and forgot the ball. He made a charge to get into the box, and Mendy came through and kind of left hip, took the ball, peeled it the other way, turned around, cleared it, no harm and no foul, and away we go. 78th minute. Wimbledon with the ball at the back. Long ball. Played advantage for them. They got a shot in, blocked. Drops down, we scramble. That looked like TOC, clears it away. Wimbledon knocking it back forward. It's just ping-ponging back and forth between the back line of Wimbledon standing at the center line and our midfielders and back line. Long cross, I think he's onside. Header away and EOC. Another penalty.
He just flopped. He just flopped in the box and the ref bought it. Absolute garbage.
I thought that was a great header. Long searching ball. Wow. There is a bit of a press in the back. You know what? He did lean into him. He did give him a push. That was soft, but there was enough in that, I think, that you have to call that. I don't like it.
McLean is playing well, yes.
I'd like to see it from the other angle. And will it be Alhamdi taking it, or are they're giving it to Tilly now?
Different. Yeah, different.
Fozzie gets a yellow card for something in the build-up. I'll get back to the comment on McLean. I'm just going to look at this penalty here. The Tilly steps up to the box. Left footer, top corner. It's 1-1. '80th minute. We got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, they needed to get more aggressive.
Yeah, even if Fozzie went the right way, I don't think he's stopping that. I'd like to see another shot of the EOC one, because obviously, Brendan, you and I don't agree on whether that was a foul or not, but
it looked to me that the second he realized he wasn't getting the ball, he just flopped. He didn't fall with the immediate contact. He fell after he realized the ball was drifting over to O'Connell.
Yeah, when it was gone past. I just think that there was enough there. A corner for Wimbledon now. Wimbledon is just screaming on us. It reminds me of the USA-Canada game. The international one where there was, as my iFollow goes sketchy again, where there was a soft push in the back and the US got a penalty, and that one was way softer than this one, and the red was given. Or not the red, the penalty kick was given.
See, this is the kind of stuff where if the
good take by Fozzie.
The Mullen would have drawn fouls today, if that's the kind of stuff that he's going to call.
Now it looks like the refs maybe giving us
Dalby coming in,
some extra free kicks and some extra penalties. Hopefully going, well, not penalties, but extra fouls going the other way, because I don't think there was much in that one, but he gave us the free kick, and we've got possession now on the left side. 82nd minute, another free kick to us, although that one was deserved, as Lee got his legs swiped out from under us. And so who do we got coming in here?
Andrew, they're making
Dalby up
subs.
front.
Yeah,
Young
Palmer out.
looks like he's back there. Dalby comes in for Palmer. And Ford's standing there too, I believe, was the third sub coming in the 82nd minute.
Ford, yeah.
We'll try to keep you posted, Andrew. Yeah, I think he's made some questionable calls. I think that he should have given red potentially on that leg sweep. I don't think that the first penalty was a penalty at all, but the second one, I can see it anyway. So Ford's coming in. Didn't see who Ford came in for.
I guess the ref in that Wigan game allowed the game to be more physical.
Yeah, and we loved it. If you went to Twitter, though, the Wigan fans thought the referee did a horrible job, but I thought Mr. Allison was the best referee we've seen, at least from the North American angle, where we like a little bit of physical dealings. But you got to play to the referee's standard. I do think that O'Connell pushed him in the back, and do I think it was significant? Not really, but it was enough. But yeah, Stephen, I accept that criticism as well. I do think that it's been a little bit one-sided. Although if you talk to Boogiel, he's been crying the whole game. Push in the back and another. Give it to him. Oh, Lee was pushing forward, and O'Connell, I think, was a little late getting there. Mendy now looking for a cross. There it is. That's a push in the back. Let's go back to that play. Is that not the exact same thing that happened to O'Connell?
Yeah, that's
the exact same play. I don't have a problem with the O'Connell penalty, but if you're going to call that as the standard, that's the same thing. Tozer, header, goes wild. Yeah, Stephen, you saw it the same way we did then. Like, that was a hand in the box from O'Connell. I can see how a penalty could be given. But if you're going to do that, that was just as bad. Flag that one and see if it's on the highlights in the 84th minute. Wimbledon and forward. Long ball, race that down. McLean's got some wheels. So the question was asked, I can't scroll up here because I may end up losing the stream, but how McLean's looked. And for me, he's looked comfortable. I don't think that he's had the interplay in the relationship as far positionally as where to be. So he hasn't been able to find the gaps. And that was Dalby, actually, not McLean, that had that play. And so he's been comfortable. He's taken people on 1-on-3. He's had the confidence. He's looked good with the ball at his feet. He's had a couple of first, second, third touches that have been absolutely amazing. Just not the interplay yet for me. So that'll probably happen over time. We're now sitting at approaching the 86th minute, and we're back playing ping pong in the midfield. We've just got possession on our side and looking to advance it. O'Connor, middle of the pitch. Boyle.
See, Wimbledon is giving
Take a shot.
a room.
Boyle's just sort of sitting there looking, and we're now going to switch it over to the right side of the pitch. No pressure from Wimbledon, which is new.
They've been letting us get it out to Mendy. They're not worried about that, but they're all they're all over the other side. They were all over Barnett. They're all over Ford. They're not letting them get the ball, but they're
Mendy. That was a nice cross. Header away.
Yeah.
Still fly up in the air. Bass comes and collects it, hammers it down the field, and we'll see who's there down the pitch. Tozer just killed that one right at his feet. 86th minute, coming up to the 87th minute. TOC flick into Lee, intercepted, knocked away with a header. 1-1's the score. I'd like to be able to put it up, but I've been having some issues.
Yeah, I agree. We were a little too passive playing defensively. We needed to be aggressive. We were saying that in the second half, and because they weren't pushing it, they were just always defending, and then the penalties.
But it's amazing to me how they get the draw and Wimbledon's completely now falling back and just worried about their shape in the back. There's no pressure, and they've had success with that pressure the entire way through the game. So why would you just allow the wave to come forward? And I'm happy for it because it seems like we're having opportunities here. Forward here, we're taking a crack, deflection, and because of the deflection, took the sting out of it, and Bass is able to collect it. 87th minute, coming up to 10 seconds away from the 88th minute.
What time do you have, Sean?
I'm at the 88th minute, 10 seconds in. 88-10.
Okay, I'm about 20 ahead.
So midfield for us, again, searching. They've just fallen back and worried about their shape. Nice little through ball. Whoa. That was well played out to the wing. Forward through. Oh, missed it on that touch, but that'll roll, and that'll be a corner for us. 88 minutes, 30 seconds, out for a corner. Looks like McLean's going out to get that.
I agree with you, Stephen. Mullen would have created so many opportunities, so many penalties, so many set pieces. We would be definitely more than one score right now. Ollie Palmer was invisible the whole game.
So left footer from McLean. Everybody's moving forward into the box. Here it is. Service up. Flat. Headed away at the short post. And McLean's got it again. Got some time. A higher ball here. Dangerous. Cleaned away, though.
So Andrew and Stephen, when it comes to the refs, does anybody watch back the game like a governing body and then rate the effectiveness or the quality of the refereeing? And then at least when it comes to playoff times or things like that they know who the better refs are?
Yeah, I don't know what the process is for that. Like, I know what it is in Major League Baseball and elsewhere, but I mean, Allison, for me, ran a show. There are trackers. I was watching a referee tracker but it only really scores yellow and red cards. We're dealing with AFC Wimbeldon subs if you're relying on me, by the way, so that's why we're not talking. It's the 90th minute. I didn't see the amount of penalty time that went up, or injury time. Went up. 8 minutes of injury time.
They want to stall.
So I haven't seen how they necessarily do that tracking of the officials, but this one, I think he's given yellow cards out a little bit freely, but he missed, like, that first penalty just wasn't a penalty. And then if you're going to call it O'Connell, that's fine, but you've got to give it the other way. And Lee just had that wipe out, and they never called that on the other way. So I don't think this referee's done a good job. But then it's also a 1-1 draw, and we just got scored on, and people scream that we're biased. So wholesale changes from Wimbledon.
Yeah, they're changing at the 90th minute to try to kill all the extra time.
I've always been of the mind that they should stop the clock during subs and during timeouts and injury time and just let it be and run. So long ball, that would have been, and it still is. Dalby in the box, plays it back. Lee outside. Forward searching, header away out of the box. Still brought down by us, but then kind of off the left foot. Went too far, and so they were able to clear, and it's all the way back to Fozzie here now, looking to turn it away. 1.5 minutes time spent on the injury time. Just in the midfield, still possession, no pressure really from Wimbledon, just more worried about shape than anything else. TOC into the corner. Lewis able to clear it away. Is that their throw? Yeah, that's unfortunate. They'll be trying to knock it down to block. It ends up taking a deflection and going out. So Wimbledon maintains possession 2.5 minutes into injury time. Lee, ooh, good tackle. So he's not able to collect it, and it goes the other way. Wimbledon now with possession, coming down the left side. Deflected, and now we've retaken it. It seems to me almost as though this 1-1 draw is something Wimbledon's playing for. Like, it almost looked like they were going to run for the corner flag. You've seen something in your way ahead from where I am. O'Connor down the left side. McLean's got it. I'm way behind where you are then, because I haven't seen anything that got that reaction. O'Connor dealing with it, back to McLean. Cross. Right foot. Header up over the top.
That was an easy one for
Dalby.
It was great.
Everybody,
Great header,
hands on heads.
great header by Lee to pass it to him.
That was McLean all the way, goes far post, misses everybody. It's a header in. Lee just soft touch off the head into the middle towards Dalby, and Dalby dink, way over top. And there wouldn't have been anything the goalkeeper could have done there. Ford, Lee, Dalby, over. 4 minutes. Wimbledon with the ball, and here they come. Cross in, headed away, knocked down. Lee's there to collect and punch it forward. McLean back into the center. That was something you don't normally see. Get up there, boys. Settling it down. We've got possession in the box. Nobody up there. We're all still racing forward. Back, hammered. Oh, big stop. Woo.
Yeah. Set piece.
That was Luke. Hammered right footer, searching for the right side of the goalkeeper. Bass is able to get there. One-handed save, so it's rolled out for a corner. We're at 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and now hoping we can get this in off the corner. That was a really, really good. I'm with you, Steve, and that was close.
Wow. Went right over the guy's back.
Crosses in. Oh. Header across in, another chance too far. Ford saves it back to Lee. Not able to volley it because he had a man in front. Hammered again, way up over top. Ford, like we're chances. This is a frustrating game because
We need a finisher.
Wimbledon's had a lot of possession, but I haven't really felt under threat from them. They've benefited from 2 questionable penalty calls. One absolutely undeserving, and one that was deserving if you're going to call it equal. And now you're dealing with Wrexham just on in waves. I do think that we're benefiting from Wimbledon deciding just to fall back and stop with the pressure. Like they've changed defensively how they played the game, and as a consequence, we've been able to pressure them. Like I said, almost like they're playing for the draw.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I haven't looked at the formula for that, Andrew, as far as the how much time, but they've got a formulaic set for it, right?
Yeah, I'm with
Well,
you.
McLean, right idea to try to play to himself and keep it in, but he did. We've been able to get possession back, and now we've turned it away, and McLean fist pump. Frustrating there. So we're now 6.5 minutes in on the penalty time. I think there's going to be some extra time because of the late substitution at the end.
Yeah, we need a finisher at striker.
McLean left-footed her to try and clear it. Held up. Well done. Oh. Okay. I don't even know how to describe that. It was just a mass scramble. They got it into their box. It was cleared away.
Yeah,
7.5 minutes.
They put Lee up front as a striker, so that's why he's felt.
Whoa, that was a bad first touch. Put us in jeopardy. 7.5 minutes for us. That was Lee. Well done. Gets it over the right-hand side. Getting close to the 8th minute. We're at 7 minutes and 52 seconds. You're going to hear all the Wombles fans start whistling in the stadium because it'll be at the 8th minute, but there should be an extra minute that's played. Left footer trying to get it over to the other side. McLean's got it. Ooh, that was a heavy touch, but he might have benefited because the defender slid. Lee, front of the box, gets it over to Connor, sitting there, doesn't see the man coming over his shoulder, and it gets pickpocketed. And now Womble's got it. 8 minutes, 20 seconds of injury time, and they're just in behind. Wimbledon tries a shot, skews away. Yeah, this is going to be a draw, and it looks like it is. Steven already sees it. It's there, even though I'm 20 seconds. They're going to throw this in and blow the whistle. I'm sure it has to happen. And why are we leaving it? Hammers it down the field. There's the final whistle. All right. Entertaining. I'm curious if you guys have thoughts on man of the match. I'm all for it. Throw them out there and see what your thoughts are. I'm going to take a couple of minutes. If you haven't done it, Rob, Ryan, and Red, I don't know if they do it every game, but they run a Twitter after the match sort of discussion piece. We'll see if they do it again. I think it's more likely to happen on weekends and weekdays because they're not working. But it's a lot of time. A lot of fun. I joined the last one. For me, that was an exceptional performance from Mendy. Fozzie had a great game. Lee looked great. McLean comfortable, can't really fault him for anything. O'Connell frustrated a little bit. He had some great plays and he had some horrible plays. But really the referee, I think, benefited the Wombles more than he benefited us with the big calls, the main calls. Steven's with me on Mendy. Like I said, and I've repeated it now probably a dozen times, it feels like. I don't have a problem setting the standard, but if you're going to call that push that EOC had on his back, as Andrew said, you give the referee the potential of calling a penalty, and the referee took him up on it. Okay, and if that's the standard, then it's got to go the other way. And I think, and I believe it was Lee, I'm not 100% certain, it was the one who was pushed in the back, in the middle of the box to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper on a threatening play, no call. So that's where we're at. I've enjoyed having you guys here. I'm happy to sit and chat for another 5-10 minutes if you guys have. If there's more chatting, I don't know if you guys are all interested in running away. I'm gonna probably tune out the iFollow game itself, and there we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen, I've got no criticism from there. Brendan, I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't fault the offensive this time. I think that they were sniffing around. I mean, Dalby, yeah, he had that missed touch. What would Mullen have created positionally? I mean, if he was in the same spot, maybe a better touch there, but I think he probably is more bulldog on the ball and probably would have turned over and poached one or two. To me, I can't complain even without him. The way I look at things is if you score, or if you take away 1 point from every away game and you're able to win the majority of yours at home, you're into it. You've got a chance for promotion. So we're behind the 8 ball, being 0-1-1, but hopefully we can turn this around. And so always the optimist appears. Oh-ho, I'm all for that. And I appreciate the compliment on the content. It's starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's exciting for me. The Wimbledon one that I put out earlier has got a fair amount of views, and people have been complimenting well. And the Walsall one comes out tomorrow. It's already scheduled because I won't be around to come out 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific. So that would be afternoon on Sunday. I've got Steven, any points we can get? Yes, absolutely. I called it if he's down probably mid-table that we're still in good shape. We've got work to do to still get there. But hopefully we can take care of business with Walsall. I'll be honest, Walsall's looked weaker than Wimbledon to me on paper. I know that the bookies may not have got that right. I don't know who's going to be on Walsall that's going to step up. When I looked at Wimbledon, I saw threats. You know, Alhamdi, their center backs were solid.
Walsall's beaten Stockport. They
yeah, it's odd to me because I looked at the stats and when you can see enough when you go to footy stats, percentiles, who's able to do what. And Walsall was like, there's nobody here who's really impressing me. I've been proven wrong because I thought the Dons were going to be weaker than the bookies had it. I saw Wimbledon being essentially what they were, better than what the bookies had it. But we'll see what happens.
I think they seem to use McLean because I think they noticed that there's a deficiency trying to work the ball up from the middle as opposed to always having to come in on crosses from Mendy or Barnett. They need to find some other way to be able to get the ball up there and get some quality shots other than just the deep cross, you know.
Yeah.
That we have to finish. I mean, too many great chances that we're just not putting in the back of the net.
Well, it's been interesting to watch it all because you think of the bicycle kick that didn't work out. You see that header that just went over top. He's there and he's got the right idea. It's just that finish in game time, and if he's able to a little bit more patience, a little bit more. I think that's a preparation thing because he's got the talent. It's just that final touch to put it through seems to be missing. Stephen, I see your comment here about easier to get promoted. Certainly easier in the sense that there's 4 clubs, but different in the sense of the National League. I would suggest that half to maybe even 2/3 of the league aren't even running and pushing towards promotion. I mean, they want it, but they're not spending for it. In League 2, you're going to end up with some really strong teams, probably 8 to 12, that are spending to be able to make it. So would you rather have 8 teams chasing down 2 spots or 16 teams chasing down 4? I don't know if that makes it easier to me. We'll see how it all cooks down here. Yeah, I can take that the Dons are looking like the team to beat. Interesting to me that they've had such a turnover, which happens with a team that's relegated or promoted, coming in, coming down. You wonder where they're going to go. But they've looked like they found the knack early, which frustrates me because if there's one team there's 2 teams that are in League 2 that I hope fall on their face. One is the MK Dons and the other is Bradford. And we get Bradford an extra time here in the Cup game, which should be a lot of fun. So I see we've gone from 69 to 27. I'm still happy to have a couple of questions. Steven's here, Jed's here. Otherwise, I'm going to probably go and meet up with the family and maybe eavesdrop on the Rob Ryan Red after show if they're doing it. Walsall preview comes in on Sunday, 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific. So that's 11 Eastern. Going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. So feel free to take that out if you're in Wales. And we'll be back. This was awesome because 69 full-time viewers. It went from start to finish on this one, essentially. I haven't looked at the views elsewhere, but I noticed they were up throughout. So it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in. It doesn't see that anybody's chatting. Brendan, thank you so much for helping out with stuff. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on Tuesday.